Imagine having a brain that processes information so fast, so deeply, that the entire world feels like it's moving in slow motion. We are talking about an IQ of 276. To put that into perspective, Albert Einstein had an estimated IQ of 160. The average human sits around 100, but the man holding the official record for the highest IQ in human history, YoungHoon Kim, just made a public announcement that has sent shockwaves through the entire global financial ecosystem. He didn't just say he likes cryptocurrency. He didn't say he's diversifying his portfolio. He posted here on X, I quote, "Now I am all in on XRP." And just so nobody thought it was a typo, he repeated it multiple times. When the sharpest mathematical mind on the planet decides to liquidate everything else and put 100% of his conviction into a single digital asset, you don't just glance at the news. You stop everything and look at the underlying data. So in this video, we are unpacking exactly why this historic move happened today on May 29, 2026. And we are looking at why a certified genius sees what Wall Street is only just starting to realize. This isn't about hype. It's about pure, cold, hard logic. So let's look at the facts that force a 276 IQ mind to make the ultimate financial bet. So let's start with our very first question about why has the XRP Ledger captured the minds of the world's elite? All right? To understand why a genius goes all in, you have to look past the social media noise and look at the machine itself. The XRP Ledger is not a theoretical project. It has been running around continuously without a single hitch since 2012. While other networks clog up, break down, or demand massive gas fees that make you want to cry, XRP processes 1,500 transactions per second. But the real magic is the speed and cost of cross-border settlements. Traditional bank wires takes days, passing through multiple middleman banks like an ancient postal route. XRP does it in 3 to 5 seconds for a fraction of a single penny. It acts as a bridge currency, allowing a bank in Japan to send value to a bank in Brazil instantly without either side needing to hold massive pools of foreign currency in dead bank accounts. So, in my personal view, this is exactly why a mathematical mind like Kim's gets attracted to this asset. Geniuses look for structural efficiency. They hate waste, they hate friction, and they hate outdated systems. When you look at the trillions of dollars trapped in global banking corridors, just waiting to settle, the XRP ledger looks like a beautifully designed engine. To me, going all in isn't a reckless gamble for someone with that level of intellect. It's the only logical conclusion when you realize the old financial system is running on technology from the 1970s. Now, how did legal victory open the floodgates for the big capital? We cannot talk about XRP without talking about the giant elephant in the room, the SEC lawsuit. Back in December 2020, the regulators tried to claim XRP was an unregistered security. That dark cloud hung over the project for years, causing retail investors to panic and major American institutions to sit frozen on the sidelines. But the landscape completely changed when a federal judge ruled that XRP is fundamentally not a security. The single ruling did something historic. It gave XRP a unique legal status that almost no other major digital asset has achieved through the court systems. The central obstacle, the fear of compliance penalties, was completely dismantled. So, my take on this is that the legal victory was the true turning point for institutional confidence. Big money doesn't care how fast a coin is if they think the government is going to ban it tomorrow. By securing legal clarity in the United States, XRP became a safe haven for corporate compliance. I believe Kim saw this legal moat as a green light. When you combine unparalleled speed with ironclad legal protection, you create an asset class that is practically bulletproof against regulatory overreach. Now, what role does global infrastructure play in this genius strategy? While the courts were fighting things out in America, the actual builder behind the token, Ripple, was busy traveling the globe. They didn't sit around waiting for the US to make up its mind. They went out and secured money transmitter licenses across multiple global jurisdictions. They obtained the prestigious BIT license in New York. Other than that, received official approval from the Dubai Financial Service Authority and locked in active partnerships across Southeast Asia, the Middle East, and Latin America. So let's highlight that part. Furthermore, we are seeing massive legislative progress. The Clarity Act was recently advanced by the Senate Banking Committee, a move that immediately pushed XRP's value up by 5%. Alright? If this bill passes fully into law, XRP's classification as a digital commodity will be permanently locked into federal law, placing it safely under CFTC oversight. So in my own personal opinion, if you look at the chessboard, Ripple has already put the global banking system into checkmate. They didn't just build a token, they built an international regulatory network. So my view is that this global footprint makes XRP entirely distinct from the rest of the crypto market. It's not relying on domestic politics. If one region slows down, another region accelerates. For a genius looking at a global macroeconomics, this level of diversification and permanence is exactly what justifies putting all your eggs in one basket. So, why are spot ETFs the secret weapon for massive adoption? The institutional infrastructure isn't just a plan for the future. It is live right now. Spot XRP ETFs officially launched in late 2025, and the speed of capital entry was absolutely staggering. In less than 2 months, these funds absorbed over $1.3 billion in assets. That was just the first wave. If the Clarity Act passes and solidifies the community status, the doors open for much larger institutional allocation, like pension funds, mutual funds, and sovereign wealth funds that are legally barred from touching uncertain assets. So in my opinion, this is where the supply and demand squeeze becomes an absolute mathematical certainty. Wall Street has a massive appetite for liquidity, regulated assets. When billions of dollars of institutional money start flowing through these ETFs to buy a token with a fixed supply, the upward pressure is inevitable. I think the world's highest IQ holder ran the numbers on this institutional pipeline and realized that staying in traditional cash or speculative meme coins was a losing strategy compared to the wave of capital heading toward the XRP ledger. Now, what is the ultimate conclusion of this historic move? When we review the entire picture, YoungHoon Kim's decision to go all in isn't just an interesting headline. It is a profound market signal. It represents a complete alignment between raw intellectual analysis and institutional real-world utility. XRP has survived a multi-year regulatory war, built an operational cross-border network that processes transactions in seconds, secured unprecedented legal clarity in the United States, and attracted over $1 billion into its newly launched ETFs in a matter of weeks. The advancements of the Clarity Act by the Senate Banking Committee is simply the final piece of the puzzle, transforming the asset into a permanent fixture of global financial infrastructure. So whether you are an institutional fund manager or retail trader, or the smartest man alive with 276 IQ, the data leads to the same conclusion, where the future of global wealth movement is being built on the XRP ledger. The infrastructure is ready, the legal path is clear, and the smart money is already inside. Right? And this finally ends our video. Thank you very much for watching, and see you on the next one. But you might as well want to check this recommended or suggested video right here.